Hi kiddos, eyes are watching, ears are listening, voices quiet, bodies calm. This is how we listen, this is how we listen at group time, at group time. Ready? We're gonna sing it. The A says eh, the A says eh. Every letter makes a sound, the A says eh. The B says b, the B says b. Every letter makes a sound, the B says b. The C says k, the C says k. Every letter makes a sound, the C says k. The D says d, the D says d. Every letter makes a sound, the D says d. The E says eh, the E says eh. Every letter makes a sound, the E says eh. The F says f, the F says f. Every letter makes a sound, the F says f. The G says g, the G says g. Every letter makes a sound, the G says g. The H says h, the H says h. Every letter makes a sound, the H says h. The I says I, the I says I. Every letter makes a sound, the I says I. The J says j, the J says j. Every letter makes a sound, the J says j. The K says k, the K says k. Every letter makes a sound, the K says k. The L says oh, the L says oh. Every letter makes a sound, the L says oh. The M says the M says Every letter makes a sound, the M says The N says the N says Every letter makes a sound, the N says The O says ah, the O says ah. Every letter makes a sound, the O says ah. The P says p, the P says p. Every letter makes a sound, the P says p. The Q says qu, the Q says qu. Every letter makes a sound, the Q says qu. The R says the R says Every letter makes a sound, the R says The S says, the S says. Every letter makes a sound, the S says. The T says t, the T says t. Every letter makes a sound, the T says t. The U says the U says Every letter makes a sound, the U says The V says v, the V says v. Every letter makes a sound, the V says v. The W says w, the W says w. Every letter makes a sound, the W says w. The X says x, the X says x. Every letter makes a sound, the X says x. The Y says y, the Y says y. Every letter makes a sound, the Y says y. The Z says z, the Z says z. Every letter makes a sound, the Z says z. Wow. Okay. We're going to do our numbers now. And I'm going to let you sing it first, and then we'll sing it together. So ready, set, go. $11, $12, $13, $14, $15. Getting good at that. All right, did you guys sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ugh, you're so good. Okay, let's see if we can sing our shape song. I'm trying to be a little tricky here. Let's see if you can tell me what this shape is. I couldn't trick you, could I? Ugh, it's a diamond, or a kite, or a rhombus. A diamond has 4 points. A diamond has 4 points. Of all of the shapes we know, a diamond has 4 points. What about this one? A rectangle has 2 long sides. A rectangle has 2 short sides. Of all of the shapes we know, a rectangle has 2 long and 2 short sides. What about this one? A heart has two curves and a point. A heart has two curves and a point. Of all of the shapes we know, a heart has two curves and a point. What about this one? A circle has no sides. A circle has no sides. Of all of the shapes we know, a circle has no sides. A star. A star has 5 points. A star has 5 points. Of all of the shapes we know, a star has 5 points. A square. A square has 4 sides. A square has 4 sides. Of all of the shapes we know, a square has 4 sides. You all are awesome. Here we go. Last one. A triangle. A triangle has 3 sides. A triangle has 3 sides. Of all of the shapes we know, a triangle has 3 sides. So good. All right. Get ready. Get your singing voices ready. Because you're going to sing this song first, and then we'll sing it together. Ready, set, go. With all right, guys, that was awesome. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do this one together. Red and orange, yellow, green, blue and purple with brown, pink, white, and black. Very nice. All right. On to our community helper quiz. Let's see. I'm going to give you some clues about this community helper. This community helper wears a uniform. Sometimes this community helper wears a hat, and sometimes not. Sometimes they wear long pants, and sometimes they wear shorts. Depends on the weather. This community helper drives a little car that is white and blue. This community helper brings letters and packages to you when other people put stamps on them. This community helper will take your letters that you write and deliver them to the people that you want them delivered to. Have you figured out what this who this community helper is yet? Have you figured that out? Okay, I'll give you another hint. They walk around the neighborhoods and they put mail in our mailboxes. This community helper is a mail person, yes. And mail people help us get things to people and get things from people when they're too far away for us to go get them. We mail them. So that's what the mail people do. They are community helpers. Oh my goodness. So we have learned about policemen and women, firefighters, doctors and nurses who keep us well and help us get better, teachers who teach us, bus drivers who drive us places, and mail people, along with a whole bunch of other community helpers. I know that I've been reading a lot of books about community helpers too. So what I would like you to think about is, when you grow up, which community helper do you want to be? Would you like to keep people safe and be a police officer? Would you like to help people learn about fires and how to prevent them, like firefighters? Would you want to help people get healthy, like doctors and nurses? Do you want to teach people things, like a teacher? Do you want to help people get from one place to another, like a bus driver? Or do you want to make sure the mail gets to where it needs to go, like a mail person? Or you can choose any other job that's a community, and they are a community helper. What do you want to do when you grow up? Go ahead and think about that, and I will see you in the next video.